Tonya Hofmann's fabulous TV show.
Hello, everybody. Oh, I'm so glad that you're back. This is Tonya Hofmann, and this is my fabulous TV show. And I have someone fabulous on every time to show you how fabulous you are. So we've got Miss Julia Katsivo in the house. Hey, Julia.
Hey, Tonya.
I am so excited. You're going to be amazed by her. She's a branding expert. And stick around to the end of the show because she's got an amazing free offer for you. And we always love free. So make sure you stick around. It's incredible. So what I wanted to do is give you the Tonya's tip for the day. And that is, what is your personal branding in the terms of who you hang around? So everybody has a brand. I know you may think, well, I don't have a brand. I just have a job. Yes, you have a brand. Everything you do brands you. It's just what people perceived you as. So who are you hanging around? Who are you connecting yourself to on social media? Who are you hanging around for your social groups? Who are you doing any business with? That tells people a lot. So I want you to be very careful about the decisions you make. Now, for me, I love diversity, and I love going and speaking all over the world to all kinds of amazing people. And one of the things that I usually find is when I walk into an event, the crowd looks exactly like the person putting on the event. There's no diversity. So I wanted you to think about who is all of your, if you're an entrepreneur, who's all your clients? Do they all look like you? Well, this could be great, and you can brand yourself as that's your specific group. Those are your peeps that you get connected to. But how to look beyond that, because I'm telling you, it is so fabulous to be around amazing people and people of all different ways of thinking and eating. You know, you get and you're like, what are you eating? And they're like, oh, it's so good. And then you try it, you're like, okay, that's not for me. Or, wow, that is amazing. But you won't know until you try. But it's also telling people who you are truly, if you're a person of diversity. And if you're trying to hit a global market, especially all you coaches and speakers out there, it really is vital that you look at how to expand that and how to truly connect, because people are amazing and you're missing out by not getting connected to them. And women that are listening, I hear a lot of rhetoric of, oh, I only want to talk to women. Be careful, because that's half the population that you're missing out on. Just saying. So again, diversify. I wanted to bring Julia in because she knows so much, and I'm excited to bring her in to give you some great information. So Julia, tell us a little bit about you and who you are and how fabulous you are.
Awesome. Thanks, Tonya, for the opportunity. I'm Julia Katsivo. I'm a motivational speaker and a success coach. And what I do is I motivate professionals in career transition to find purpose-filled lives, to actually do what they're supposed to be doing. Taking all that wealth of experience and education together and finding that unique factor, that one thing that is specific to the individual, and taking it and running with it, because that's where we win, when you are yourself.
Nice. So have you always been this fabulous?
Honestly, I've always been a work in progress. I'm an iceberg.
Chip away.
It took a lot to get to the tip. I've always been unique. That much I recognized from an early age. I didn't think the way my peer groups did growing up and up until my late 20s. And that's, I guess, what I understand most intimately is just how to be different and how to make it work for you. Because a lot of times, up until we realize that this is actually a wonderful gift, we take it as though there's something wrong with us, and there's something wrong with us not fitting in and not gelling and not doing what we're supposed to be doing to get the kind of jobs that we want to. No, not at all. I'm able to do the things I'm able to do because I am exactly who I am supposed to be.
I love that. And I know we just talked with Alan Edge. You all need to go back and listen to that recording of that show. But it was funny because I was like, you've got to be weird. You know, you've got to stand out, especially if you're wanting to move further in your career or in business. If you look like and sound like everybody else, then you're going to be in the poorhouse and looking like everybody else. So stop it. Be weird and enjoy it and be different. Because I know I have always been, that kind of weird person. And it sounds like you have too.
Absolutely. And I'm so glad that you said that. Be weird. Honestly, be weird. If you're thinking about people's opinions, when you step out of that opinion box, you realize that you did yourself such an injustice and the rest of the world, because by being weird, you are who you are. You and I, we've met here and we're sharing this information. That would not have taken place if we were too afraid, if we never went our separate paths so that we could meet here. But look at our careers. They're just complementing each other right at this point.
I know, and it's so funny because when you hit I knew I had hit a certain level of success when I went to an event one time, and it was like a 3-day event. And the first day I went on, and I had this kind of long, like little jacket type of thing. It was a very unique look. And I was telling people, you've got to own how fabulous you are. And, and I really jazzed them up. Well, the next day, suddenly I had all these people that looked just like me. They all had the same type of outfit on. And I'm like, what are you doing? They're like, oh, I ran out and I got this outfit that looks like you. And I'm like, you're missing the point. I'm like, oh my gosh, stop it. Be yourself. It's just what you're saying, right?
Oh my goodness, if I would have freaked out. The closest I can come to that is, and this, to be honest with you, Tonya, is almost what I live for, is when I hear back from someone and the person says, you know what I did? I went back into my closet of old forgotten things and I pulled out that instrument and I started to play again. I signed up for lessons and I'm on my way. And when I hear that people are starting to believe again, to believe in what was unique about them from when they were children, it gives me joy. The one thing I'll always say though is, it takes work. I mean, the same amount of discipline and work that we apply to regular 9-to-5 jobs, expect no less. In fact, you're going to have to do a whole lot more because you are nobody and nothing. And so it is for you to make that mark. But you can do this with the same information that you've used in other places. Get the education you need. Get the coaching that you need. We have the internet, for crying out loud. What is the excuse these days with not watching educational videos, Tonya, when people say, oh, I don't have the time or I don't know where to start?
I know. It's crazy. And, when you look at, there is a lot of information, and that's what a lot of people are like, well, why do I need to tell people, there's already information out there. I'm like, yeah, but you're the one who's telling it. People are going to resonate with you, not the other person who's telling that information. So just because other people are doing it doesn't mean there's not room for you. Believe me, the pie is huge.
Tons of room in this world. I hear the same questions over and over. Oh, it doesn't matter who's gonna buy. And I say, you're looking at an ocean. Why do you think you have to all dip into the same small corner? Take your net and go out. You want different kind of fish? Go where the fish are. Go. It's a wide ocean, wide ocean. We have no excuses.
I know. I see that a lot with speakers, because they niche themselves too narrow, and then they wonder why it's hard for them to get booked. And it takes time. That's why I created the Public Speakers Association, was to help people market themselves. Because if no one's ever heard of them and no one's ever heard their message, you cannot get booked. So a lot of it is about repetition and doing things like this, right? Doing things to get your name out there and your face out there. People want to see you. They want to hear you over and over and over again until they feel comfortable. They want to feel comfortable with the people. And it's also about bringing that reality of who you are. Before, many moons ago, when I was an introvert, I'd be like, hi, I'm Tonya Hofmann, and we're going to talk about today, and I was very even keel, because that's what I thought I had to be. I thought that was the professional way of doing a video. And then I realized, well, that wasn't me, and people weren't connecting to me. And as soon as I was like, hey, then suddenly things started popping and everything was amazing after that.
Honestly, that's just how we have to think, because that is branding. That is branding. And so when we reach to other markets, when we go out there and try different things, sometimes we fear that, oh, but that's going to remove me far off from where I started, or it's going to take me away from my key topic. Whatever we do, it's always tied to one thing, because we're individuals. We can't really separate ourselves. We'd like to believe that we can. We'd like to believe that we have separate lives. It's not true, Tonya.
I know, and we try, and I see it all the time. People try to be someone else instead of just be who they are, because they're so afraid of who they are. And I'm like, just own it. That's the only person you are. So own who you are.
That's it. That's all you get. Work with it.
And, and especially in the speaking world, when people, you look at, well, what is actually available for the opportunities? And then how can I adjust me and my subject matter to fit into that opportunity so that I can apply for it? And a lot of people are like, oh, I don't speak about whatever it was. Well, they're missing out. You're not giving them your uniqueness and your incredibleness so that they can really connect. And so you're doing a dishonor by not going and speaking at that event in some way. So all of you out there, expand, see what's inside of you that you can speak about, that you can change somebody's life. Don't you find that, Julia, that a lot of times with people's careers and things, they're always looking at what they think people want versus what people are asking them to actually do?
Absolutely. And so when I speak with a lot of professionals who are stuck, they're not looking at the feedback. And there's one thing that you can never ignore is feedback. What are people telling you? Where do you seem to be the most alive and of use? What are the opportunities that seem to keep coming your way? What they're looking at instead is, again, this world of opinion that just forms so much of our realities, where we're thinking, no, I better walk this path. I better become this professional. And I feel that we get stuck based on that. Whereas if we look at feedback, which is, I seem to get a lot of people who are asking me for help, say, maybe I should go back into school and be a nurse. Just as an example, it's worked out really great for others. Why not? Why not give that chance to respond to the feedback in a positive way and say, okay, this is the feedback I'm receiving. Let's try that. Let's try that out and forget about, all the things that may or may not happen. Let's go with what is happening.
Yes, and I also see that people don't give enough time, for those out there that are looking at building a business or even like a speaking career, because it is a business. You have to think of everything as a development. You can't go to kindergarten and think you're going to graduate the next year or in 2 months or in a month. You have to develop that whole opportunity. And a lot of it is just about connections and making things happen and figuring out, what am I missing? What are those holes that need to be plugged up so that I can move forward and things are starting to really fill up nicely? Do you find that in a lot of people's, career choices, is they just don't give it enough time to make something actually develop out?
That's such an incredible feedback, that the point that you've made there. So what I find is we're not realistic about where we are and our expectations, and the work that has to be done in between. What we're not realistic about is just how much out of our comfort zone we need to get out of in order to make things happen. A lot of these plugins are not taking place because we're not going out to even find what we need. We're just using the same mentality to resolve the same problem and hoping to arrive at a different solution.
I know, I see it all the time with even the members of my association, right? They're like, oh, I'll come on your show someday. There's that fear. And I'm not sure, because I know I had it. The first time I was on video, I was like, hello, I'm Tonya Hofmann. I mean, it was horrible, because that fear that just whelms up inside of you. But you get through it, and then you do it again. And then it gets easier every time you do it. And so for me, one of my rules for myself is I'm not allowed to be comfortable. Not that I don't take some comfort days. I'm like, okay, today is a comfortable day. But in the wholeness, it's about getting and moving yourself and doing something you didn't even think you could do.
I agree, absolutely. Being uncomfortable is a new feeling to get in touch with. And if you're like me, an A personality who likes order, preferably the one that I create, and you like things to go a certain way, to willingly walk into a world in which every day is not going to be the same and your plans are pretty much laid out to be dismantled. Being uncomfortable is a new feeling, and I always remind myself this is a good thing. We're feeling uncomfortable, it's a good thing. It means that we're moving in the right direction, and not the uncomfortable gut feeling that says stop, quit now.
Yes.
But the uncomfortable where you really are, you have this awareness and this and almost all your best traits are up, rather than all the stuff that would put you back into a shell. But you're just ready to make the right move at the right time, but you are not going to force, destiny or time or issues, and you're going to be wise about what you do take on and how you spend your time and your money, and it becomes easier to say no to things that don't count. Like you said, circles of influence, it becomes easier to let go of the things you love the most, because when you look at the things you love the most, they're the ones that are probably not helping you get those holes plugged in to get you to the next step.
And, one of the things that I see that a lot of people just don't do is movement. If it's, I can't find someone to fall in love with. Well, because you're staying at home. Or I can't find clients, which is one, I'm not bringing in any money. Well, I don't see you anywhere. You've got to be all over the place. You've got to find people and connect with them so you can find those that resonate with you. And I think it's that movement, action, that's huge.
Huge. You said it, movement. And again, when it comes to being stuck in your career, there's a lot of stuck. You're just standing there frozen and you don't realize that time has actually lapsed. Maybe people start off saying, I'll take a 2-week vacation. And then after that, I'm going to get serious about what I want to do next. And a couple months later, you're still thinking about what you want to do next. A year and a half later, you're nowhere closer to making a decision about what it is that you want to do next. Yeah. Yet time is moving and chances and opportunities are going where you could have been preparing yourself by taking daily steps, just small daily steps. We have so many resources available to us. If your mindset is not where it needs to be, you can start to feed yourself material that will get you there. In the beginning, it's hard, it's going to be strange, but before you know it, you're setting up daily routines and habits that will get you to the place where you're able to even accept the possibility of something new in your life. But like you said, movement. And I find that the one thing we don't do the movement on is on our mental, how we think.
Oh yeah, personal development is so huge and so vital. And one of the problems that keeps coming up over and over again for me, for people who especially say that want to be a speaker or want to have a business of their own, is all the excuses they give themselves for not completing it, for not moving. I'm like, oh great, well you could be on my TV show. Oh, well, I it's going to be, my website's not going to be ready for 3 months, and then I still need to do my lead generator, and so that's going to be another 3 months, and so we're probably looking about 9 months from now, and I'm like, what? So don't listen to your own voice and make sure that you're not giving yourself excuses to not move.
Absolutely. And the one thing that I got from what you said, which is so key, is that opportunities will come and they'll pass by. So that chance to offer that lead generation, if I don't take it, that chance is gone. That's a cost that I must calculate for myself.
It's like a lot of opportunities. People don't jump into an opportunity because of the fear. The other day, a lady was like, oh my gosh, somebody actually wants me to come and speak. And I'm like, great, what'd you tell them? She's like, I'm not ready. I told them no. And I'm like, oh, you have
yes.
this one opportunity and you said no. I thought you wanted to be a speaker.
Honestly, when you see me on stage and when you hear me, even when I'm speaking with you, it doesn't matter that I've always loved the stage. I had to get here, and to get here meant that I had to put myself out there over and over again. I didn't have a front tooth for a large part of my younger life, and that meant that I was self-conscious, but I also still loved the stage. So can you imagine that? You're on stage trying to perform a piece, and the focus is really on your mouth, not on what you're saying, and getting over that. I've listened to some of the things I've done a couple years ago, even 10 years, 5 years ago, and I cringe, but I look back and I think, wow, I have changed so much. I have grown. I am powerful. I know how to deliver. But I had to stumble and fall, and I had to do that in front of audiences who owed me nothing until I got to this part. You know, the thing that I discovered is people want you to win. They want you to succeed. And so they're actually, it's in your head, you know, where your enemies are.
Always. It's you keeping yourself from moving because people are ready for you. They're waiting for you. They all want to hear your message. They all want to buy something from you. And a lot of times that's what keeps people from really being successful is they don't sell. You know, you are selling. You're selling yourself. You're selling your message. So now you have to take it beyond that and say, hey, you need to go further with me. I can't change your life in 30 minutes or an hour. I can only start the domino effect. So in order for you to hit that next domino, you've got to buy into my product, my service, whatever, my coaching program. You can't just stop there. And so when I find, especially in the speaking world, is a lot of people are fearful of that next domino. But then you're just keeping them from really having an incredible reaction that makes them to a beautiful picture.
Absolutely. You just wasted both your time, because what was done in that short period of time is going to evaporate. That's barely getting the seed in where it needs to be. You need to invest. You know, there's only so much we can get from, like you said, half an hour. You need to invest. If it really means that much to you, then you will put out so that you also know, and you are telling yourself, I am committed to the process. I am committed to the process, and this is one of the ways that I'm committing to it. I'm committing to the investment of going through this.
Yes, and also learning that, you know, it takes time to build something. There was a perfect example. There was a lady that was in the Public Speakers Association. We do a virtual summit every month, and she did a great presentation. Her membership came up a year later, and I'm talking, it was crazy. The week after she quit her membership, I got a phone call, and it was from a huge corporation that had heard her recording, and they were like, hey, I've been trying to find her on your website, and I can't find her anymore. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. She's, you know, no longer a member. She decided to you know, not renew. And they're like, oh, well, we don't want quitters. We want someone else. Who else can you? It was $100,000 opportunity. And I was like, well, I can still connect you to her because, you know, she is still great and everything. And they're like, nope. And I was like, okay, well, someone else got it. So you never know who's watching, and that time that it takes, especially corporate, you know, because it just takes time for them to go through their rigmarole of, you know, all their processes. It drives me crazy, but it's that timing. So you see a lot of people quit before they're really successful, and it's usually like really quickly after that. We just can't see our future.
I think if we look at all of this as branding, it may help. You know, when we stop looking at the end road, the big bucks, when am I going to be on the big stage? When we think about our little steps, and it's exhausting, it is, honestly, you know, and when we think about the little steps and what we can do today to build our brand, so that when we do get to that big stage, that work has already kind of been done for you. It's already been done for you. You set out the foundations, you've laid it, you've been reinforcing it over and over again, to the point where when you get to that place, you don't have to explain who you are.
Exactly. It's just a natural progression, and people always want to skip over areas, and you can't. You have to go through it, you know, no matter if we don't like that part of, you know, or building our business, or, you know, we don't like whatever it is, you know, that career advancement. Oh, I really didn't want to be in that management position. I really want that other one, you know, whatever it is. It's all a progression, and sometimes we got to sludge through the swamp to get to the beautiful pasture beyond that.
I agree. And it helps if we have a bit of a timeline thing that says, well, in 3 months, you know, I'd like to have goals, you know, even with your branding. Like, what do you want? Do you want to have 5 more people, you know, a night or a day, or have these things that will take up that space where you're not looking into the horizon wondering when your big chance is coming, because you'll be so focused on getting to your 3-month goal, your 12-month goal, your 1-year goal. What do you think?
I love that. All right, everybody. So you can see how amazing Miss Julia is. So I want you to take advantage of her amazing offer. So Julia, what are you giving away my listeners today?
This is what we're saying. The 30-second pitch is the new resume. Forget handing over your resume. You're no different than all the million of people with X amount of years in education. I will help you in a 30-minute Skype coaching get that resume out of you with every interaction that you make, because it's people who hire. It's people. And it's the people that you need to connect with in 30 seconds to let them know, let them clearly see where you fit in. That's the aim.
Awesome. How do they get in touch with you?
They have your wonderful website where all my information is posted. I think that would be the easiest way to go.
Perfect. So
And I'm also into Katsivo, yeah.
Perfect. Yes. So go to Public Speakers with an S Association, all spelled out.com. And then I want you to look up for Julia. And what's easy to do, because her last name, Katsivo, may be a little bit harder to type up, but it's super simple. You go to speaker search. In the search bar, you put in Julia, boop, there she is. So you'll be able to find her, all of her contact information there, including her website. Make sure you go over and check her out. You definitely want to obviously have her come in and speak at your next event. So make sure you're booking her for what event that you have coming up. And look at how can you go beyond just listening to her and just take advantage of her amazing offer, for that free coaching. It's called actually connecting. So I want you to connect with her and build a relationship, because this is what building your career and your business is all about. So definitely do that. So super, super exciting. I'm so excited that you were on, and I definitely want you to come back on, Miss Julia. That is so much fun.
Oh, I had such an amazing time with you. Honestly, thank you.
Perfect. And everybody, make sure you do go to the website. Check us out. We have so much fun. We want to help you change the world from the front of the room, make a lot of money, because that's also a lot of fun, and also change real lives. You really do have that within you. So I am Tonya Hofmann. Make sure you follow me on social media. Again, you can find all my social medias on both my website, Public Speakers. You can find me in the search area too, or you can actually go to my website, TonyaHofmann.com. Don't forget, it's 1 F, 2 N's, because my husband's family doesn't know how to spell their last name right. So that's just what it is. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you, Julia. Thank you. Bye, everybody.